Welcome to episode 581 of AI Brief. I'm Amin, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host Leah. Today we are jumping into a massive deep dive.
We really are. There is just a ton to cover today.
Yeah, we've got Moonshot releasing their absolute behemoth of a model, the Kimi K3, which is an open-weight release. Plus, we're looking at Anthropic's Dario Amodei. He just clarified his stance on the whole open-source debate. And Microsoft is rolling out this highly efficient new cybersecurity model.
Right, and if you look closely, all of today's updates kind of orbit this one central tension in the industry right now. It's this massive tug of war between democratizing frontier-level AI and the frantic scramble to secure the infrastructure that actually runs it.
Exactly. So let's start with this democratization push, because Moonshot AI basically just dropped a bomb on the industry.
Yeah, they really did.
They published the weights in the technical report for their Kimi K3 model, and the scale here is, well, it's just staggering. We were talking about a 2.8 trillion parameter model.
Which is wild because that makes K3 the largest open weights release in the history of AI.
Well, without a doubt.
And it's not just a vanity metric, you know? It actually competes toe-to-toe with proprietary giants like Claude Fable 5 and GPT 5.6 Sol.
Right, and here is where it gets really interesting for you as a listener. Usually, when we talk about frontier models like this, the labs ration your access. You have to ask for a permission slip, basically.
Right, they put you behind an API, they set rate limits.
Exactly. But Moonshot is taking this near-frontier system and just tossing it into the wild without any of those guardrails, which is crazy. I mean, it's like someone just open-sourced the blueprints to a Formula One engine.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
You have the plans for free, right?
Yeah.
But you still need a multi-million-dollar pit crew, in this case, incredibly heavy consumer GPUs, just to turn the engine on.
Yeah, because having the weights is incredible, but that hardware barrier is immense. Running a model of that size locally requires a server rack that honestly most developers just don't have.
Right, you can't just boot this up in your laptop.
Not even close. But, you know, Moonshot didn't just release the model, they also opened up core pieces of the underlying stack.
Which is the brilliant part of their strategy.
Yeah, they released their attention kernels and their agent infrastructure, which basically gives developers the plumbing they need to commercially host and sell access to the model themselves.
A huge strategic play.
Yeah.
But naturally, because this is a Chinese lab releasing something so powerful, the geopolitical friction is just off the charts. U.S. officials are accusing them of distillation.
Right, which is basically taking a shortcut.
Yeah, like using the outputs from advanced U.S. models as synthetic data to train K3.
And Beijing, predictably, has completely rejected that, calling it typical AI hegemony.
Exactly. But this whole reality, these massive models roaming wild without permission, slips. This is exactly what is fueling the next major industry debate, which brings us to Anthropic and Dario Amodei.
Yeah, this is a pivotal moment in the conversation.
It really is. Amodei just published this huge post clarifying exactly where Anthropic stands on open-weight models.
And the timing is definitely not a coincidence.
Not at all. There's this huge NVIDIA-led letter defending open models that is ballooned to 50 signers now, including OpenAI and Google.
Right. And since Anthropic wasn't on that list, people just assumed they wanted a ban on open weights to protect themselves from competition.
But Amodei pushed back hard on that. He stated explicitly that Anthropic has never advocated for a ban on open weights models.
Yeah, his actual priorities are totally different.
Right. He wants strict chip controls, severe crackdowns on that distillation process, and broader safety testing.
Because he fundamentally disagrees with the NVIDIA letter on one key point. He doesn't buy the argument that open weights models inherently improve security safeguards for defenders.
Right, the whole good guy with an AI theory. Amodei just doesn't buy it. But here's a critical thought to chew on. If Amodei is right, and the model weights aren't the real threat compared to the compute, does focusing heavily on chip controls actually solve the problem?
Right, or does it just accelerate a shadow market for hardware among authoritarian regimes?
Exactly. Because if they have the blueprints, they'll find the hardware. But while executives debate whether open weights help defenders, Microsoft is basically bypassing the debate entirely.
Yeah, they just built their own solution.
Exactly. They launched MAI Cyber One Flash, which is a purpose-built AI specifically for defense.
And arriving just a week after that highly discussed OpenAI and Hugging Face incident, the timing is just impeccable.
Oh, absolutely. They integrated this directly into their MDA Age agent system to hunt software bugs. And the benchmarks are insane. It hit 96% on the CyberGym benchmark.
Wow.
Yeah, that beats Anthropic's Mythos by 12 points. And Satya Nadella is promising frontier-grade security at half the cost. It can handle like 90% of workflow tasks.
Which totally validates Mustafa Suleiman's point. He said that token cost not capability is the real constraint for defenders right now.
Exactly. And Microsoft also introduced Project Perception, where agents actively simulate attacks and repair flaws on their own. It's wild. But let's shift gears a bit to the broader AI landscape. Leah, what else is happening out there?
Well, if we want to talk about the physical realities of this industry, we have to look at NVIDIA. They are making some massive moves right now.
Always.
Yeah, they just put a $5 billion investment into Ilya Sutskever's stealth lab, Safe Superintelligence.
Which is huge.
It really is, especially since it comes right after the lab confirmed they have research that is, quote, worth scaling.
Oh, that's such an ambiguous phrase, but it says a lot.
Right. And on top of that, NVIDIA is taking a leadership role in the new Open Secure AI Alliance.
Which is such an aggressive counterposition to Amodei regarding open source security.
Exactly. It's a total proxy war. But speaking of scale, NVIDIA is also reportedly discussing a $250 billion financing guarantee to OpenAI.
Wait, 250 billion?
Yes, with a B. And this is to help OpenAI lease a 10-gigawatt data center campus in Ohio.
10 gigawatts. The scale of physical infrastructure and capital needed to stay at the frontier is just mind-bending at this point.
Yeah. It really is. It's on the level of federal infrastructure projects. But, while the giants are building massive data centers, we're seeing really smart moves at the application layer, too, like Cursor's expansion in India.
Oh, yeah, the code editor.
Right.
Yeah.
They just launched a $7 a month start plan specifically for the Indian market. And to make those economics work, they are exclusively utilizing their own models to provide always-on cloud agents.
Which is a brilliant strategic play.
Yeah.
They're basically capturing this massive developer base in India with aggressively priced, self-reliant infrastructure.
Exactly, locking them in early.
Yeah. Okay, let's run through today's trending AI tools so you can actually see how these developments hit the real world. We'll start with Moonshot's Kimi K3.
Right, the 2.8 trillion parameter one.
Yeah, it's incredible for developers who want to run near-frontier open-source models locally.
And it completely changes the economics of building heavy agent infrastructure from the ground up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Next up is Microsoft's MAI Cyber 1 Flash, which is huge for securing massive code bases affordably.
Yeah, it's perfect for integrating automated bug hunting directly into an enterprise CI/CD pipeline.
Totally. Then we have Buzz, which is this open source workspace where AI agents actually join your team chats.
It's basically like having an always-on data analyst participating in your team's brainstorming sessions.
Which sounds incredibly useful. We also have FLUX3 from BFL. It's a new multimodal AI capable of 20-second generations.
A total game changer for rapid prototyping and design workflows.
Yeah. Then there's Kit for AI. This converts messy PDFs and web pages into totally clean Markdown formatting.
Which is an essential prep step for feeding clean data into your LLM workflows. You need clean data.
You really do. Next is ContentIQ.
Yeah.
This one verifies facts with cited sources before you publish.
Huge value for content teams needing to ruthlessly eliminate AI hallucinations from their draft.
Exactly. And finally, StaffingLeads. It provides real-time hiring leads for recruiters,
giving them a massive first-mover advantage in talent sourcing.
Spot on. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Before you go, I want to leave you with a final thought to chew on. With open models like K3 now requiring massive hardware and NVIDIA financing 10-gigawatt data center campuses, we're entering a totally new era. AI capability isn't bottlenecked by the software you can access anymore. It is strictly limited by the power grid you can plug into. The intelligence is infinite, but the electricity is not.
Such an important point to consider.
It really is. If you found today's deep dive valuable, please follow us and share the podcast with a colleague.
Thank you all for listening. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
See you in the next episode.